Alright, I think we may be live. Just give me a second. See if I'm live on YouTube. Weird. Does everything look okay in the stream, guys? I'm using a new software. Just let me know if everything looks good. We have a question from John M. Hey, when you're ready, I have a question. Feel free to ask, my man. Feel free to ask. Everything seems to be up to date. It's just weird. On the YouTube tab, it doesn't say I'm live, but I know I'm live, so I don't know how that works, but looks like we're live. Once again, I am using a new streaming software, so give me a little bit of a break if there's any issues. I am trying to use a more advanced streaming software, update the stream a bit. Confirmed you are live on YouTube. All right, so good. We are live. I'm still a little bit weirded out that it's not showing I'm live on the YouTube tab, but whatever. YouTube's full of issues. We know that. We're going to talk about a little bit of technicals tonight, or today. It's about 4 o'clock where I am. We're going to some technicals. We're going to go into some prices, and then we have some interesting news around crypto exchanges, possibly looking to be focusing more on DeFi and how that might relate to XRP. So that's going to be interesting because we have everything with the Flare network going on, basically giving XRP smart contract capabilities, which of course opens XRP up to being utilized for decentralized finance purposes. So anyone have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. If anyone wants to... here we go. We have a question from John M. John M says, yes, looks good. My question is, what do you think of XRP price at the moment right now, especially given that one of the reasons it pumped was because of this last Flare event? So I was actually expecting, we're going to go into that right now, actually, John. I was expecting XRP to have a small dump after the Flare network. I've been watching crypto for a few years now, and one thing I've always noticed is if there is a huge spike from a fork or an airdrop or anything related to that, right? If that, it's essentially free money, not really free, but in a way it is free. Essentially, that usually is followed by a dump. However, the rate at which how big the dump is, dump meaning, price goes down, at least a significant margin. How big that dump is usually gives me insight onto is there actual development around that, that fork or their airdrop. So what I mean by that is if, XRP is still up from where it was a few weeks ago, right? A few weeks ago, we were in the 20 to 30 cents range. We're still holding, we're about almost 54 cents. If XRP had dumped all the way back down to where it was a few weeks ago, that could have been a cause for concern, but it didn't. We had a small dump, and what that told me is that not everybody who was buying XRP in the past weeks, not everyone who was buying XRP in the past weeks, dumped their XRP, just bought it just for the airdrop, right? Not everyone who was buying XRP from basically November 20th, 19th, up until about November 29th, not everyone who was buying XRP there was just doing it to sell it and collect their airdrop, okay? And what that tells me is that there is actual utilization going on there. A certain percentage did dump it, of course. That always happens. There's profit taking. Some people saw an opportunity to get some free money from an airdrop and decided, hey, I could do this and sell it, even though there are some restrictions around that. Exchanges did close down trading a little bit. But that tells me that this is still healthy growth, that the airdrop was not a failure, that the Flare network is still, a very interesting thing going on around XRP. And so for that reason, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. Now, when it comes to price momentum, we have been on the decline the past week or so. Again, some of that was expected. We had an airdrop, right? And there was going to be a pullback. I said there was a good chance there could be a pullback in one of my last streams. And we had it, okay? Now, in terms of price momentum, there's no way to tell 100% where we're going to go in the short term. In the long term, I am very confident of going up. I think when you look at what's going on with Ripple as a company, getting businesses on board of using XRP and, businesses, financial transactors, fintech companies, remittance companies. When you look at the long term, I think, you could kind of see the writing on the wall that XRP is going to go up. Now, in the short term, we have a couple different indicators. For one, okay, the other day we had a red candlestick break through the Bollinger Band. Now, this is usually a buy signal, right? So you see this outline right here. This is called a Bollinger Band. When there is a red candlestick breaking below it, that generally indicates that the price is undervalued, okay, in the short term, right? Usually, this coincides with RSI dipping into overselling, but RSI did not dip into overselling. We're still steady RSI. We're at about 50 RSI. If RSI went under 30 and we had that red candlestick break through the Bollinger Band, I probably would have bought significant amount of XRP, because that to me is a buy signal. That is one of the easiest trading methods people do when they are, it works for beginners. When the red candlestick breaks under the Bollinger Band and RSI dips into overselling, you're ready for a bounce back, okay? We had one of those occur. We didn't have both, we had one. So you have to take that with mixed signals, okay? In terms of directional movement index, this green line did tip above that red line, meaning downward trending market. We are obviously in the downtrend for the past few weeks. I think that could definitely change very soon. And I think when you look at 2021, the things that's going to be going on with XRP, the main thing to look forward to in XRP for 2021, and I think a lot of people know this, if you don't, I'm going to say it right now, is regulatory clarity. 5% of XRP transactions come out of the US. Only 5%. What's holding it back? The main thing is regulatory clarity. Ripple wants a clear set of rules. Banks want a clear set of rules. Businesses want a clear set of rules for what can be, done with XRP. And once we have that clear set of rules, no matter what they are, from there on, we could, businesses don't want to work in the shadows. They don't want to work in a gray area where they don't know if what they're doing is going to get a fine slapped on them. So that's one of the main things I think that's holding back XRP. And I think it's going to be solved within the next year. So that's something very significant. I think looking forward to that is going to be much, much bigger than the Flare network and the XRP airdrop in terms of prices. Now, don't get me wrong, the Spark token airdrop and the Flare network, I think is going to be big, okay? And one of the reasons is actually a story I'm going to get into in a moment. But from when, I'm just checking the chat for a second. I need XRP to rise. I am obsessed. Well, if you're in it for the long term, I think you're going to be very happy. In the short term, I think we could go down a little bit more, possibly test the 50-day moving average, but I don't even think we'll go that low. This trend line, you could already see we're beginning to break above it with this green candlestick. A little bit more buying volume comes in and we could break above it. So that's something to really be looking forward to. But, to answer your question, John M., I am still very bullish on XRP, and I think this was all kind of expected, in my opinion. I know that kind of sounds a little bit, defeatist. You expected XRP's price to go down. Well, this could be a buying opportunity. Like I said, if RSI dipped under 30, there was a 90% chance I would have added some more XRP to my portfolio. We had one of the indicators signal a buying opportunity, not both. So with that said, it's kind of a 50-50, and I'm not saying that to kind of be a fence sitter. It legitimately is. We have different indicators suggesting different things, but I think the main thing here is to really remain focused. Don't invest with money you can't afford, that you're going to need next month, right? Don't put your mortgage money into XRP and hope that next month you could double it, right? That's not the best way to invest. The best way to invest is really to put money that, you don't need right this second, that you could let sit for a couple years, couple months, right? And that really is the best way to invest for the long term, especially when you consider everything going on. Now, one of the things I wanted to get into, I see Crawfish XRP, how are you doing, man? One of the things I wanted to get into was this, and that is crypto exchanges to spend 2021 focusing on DeFi, UX, and new services. DeFi is decentralized finance. It encompasses a lot of different technologies. It is a little bit confusing to newer investors. There is some risk there. I'm not advising. Crawfish, I don't know why your message got deleted. I have a bot in the chat. I don't know why it did that. I do apologize. That's not me doing that. I have a bot that is meant to moderate the chat. So I will fix that after the stream. You didn't do anything wrong, man. It was just, the stupid bot. If the bot does anything weird, let me know. It's meant to help the stream. So, just if it bans you for 5 seconds from the chat, I do apologize. I will get that fixed as soon as I can. But yeah, I do apologize for that, Crawfish. You should be fine to chat in 5 seconds. How barbaric. These bots are funny. What I was going to get into was crypto exchanges to spend 2021 focusing on DeFi, UX, and new services. Now, how can this benefit XRP? That is the main question here, right? That is the main question. How can this benefit XRP? Well, we have to look at what just happened with the Flare network and Spark tokens, okay? With this, we have XRP gaining capabilities that it's never had before with DeFi, because now with Spark tokens and the Flare network, what's going to occur is that XRP's utility is going to be increasing. Spark tokens utility is going to not be increasing, but from where it is, because it's still so new, right? This can be a match made in heaven. We have XRP getting DeFi capabilities right at the moment of exchanges planning to increase their focus on DeFi. This could dramatically increase the price of XRP and of Spark tokens. So I'm not planning on selling any of my Spark tokens. Also, not all the distribution for Spark tokens is done right away. As many of you know, I think you only get 15% on the day, which was yesterday. And then you get the rest, I think, in a few months, if I read correctly. But if you're holding on exchanges, it might be a little bit longer because they have to, kind of sort everything out. But this can be a match made in heaven. DeFi will be particularly important for exchanges in 2021. Exchanges will continue refining their user experience next year too, of course. Platforms will also focus on diversification, providing a more complete ecosystem of services, all right? Back in 2019, industry players said exchanges would mostly focus on 3 main areas: decentralized exchanges, diversification, and improving security. The improving security thing really has to happen. I mean, that's obvious, all right? This is going to be a very interesting year, okay? A lot of people are looking forward to the end of this year, end of 2020. I mean, 2020 has been a bad year. I mean, it's been a decent year for crypto, especially in the second half. But it's been a bad year in general. I mean, I think we could all agree there. What I want to see for 2020 is I really, really want to see regulatory clarity for XRP, and I want to see this really come together, okay? Where we're getting XRP and Spark tokens involved with DeFi, and we could see an explosion in the DeFi sector. Now, traditionally, or not historically, it's not the right word, but in the past, Ethereum has been dominating DeFi, and I think Ethereum's a good investment too. I own some Ethereum. However, I think we could start to see the DeFi sector get so big that even if XRP / Spark tokens, I'm going to start using those interchangeably just for the purpose of not having to go back and forth. But you get the point. If you own XRP, you own Spark tokens, and their values are loosely tied together now. I want to really see, and I think this could happen, the DeFi space explode. I mean, we saw a good amount of growth this year, but if we see an explosion next year in 2021, and even if XRP captures a quarter of that, XRP / Spark tokens, of course, not going to keep going and having to say that, but if XRP can capture even a quarter of that explosion, even if Ethereum maintains 75% of that explosion, I think it could be a rising tide that raises all ships, almost all ships. Basically it'll raise any, in my opinion at least, any altcoin that is DeFi capable. So it won't really have much to do with Bitcoin, although Bitcoin can go up regardless just because of other reasons. But just talking about DeFi, if DeFi has this explosion, I think Ethereum's going to go up dramatically. XRP / Spark token's going to go up dramatically. Basically possibly EOS, although that has kind of fallen out of favor a bit recently in the crypto rankings. We could see a big year, guys. 2021 could be a very big year, and I think it's going to be very exciting, especially when you consider everything going around with XRP. All right, so just to reiterate, just to get break it down into a couple bullet points. 3 things: XRP utilization increasing from Spark tokens and Flare network. DeFi explosion possible to occur will rise, rising tide raising all ships, right? Number 2, XRP increasing from from regulatory certainty. Okay, this of course is going to be the SEC and regulators coming out and talking about what they think XRP is or isn't, and then there's clear-cut rules. We could see a huge, I think just the news alone could double the price of XRP overnight. I mean, that's big news, okay? That's big news. We saw when that happened with Bitcoin and Ethereum, when the regulators came out and said, hey, this is cool with us. I know I'm paraphrasing, they didn't literally say that, but when the regulators came out, we saw a huge increase in price, right? Very possible to occur in 2021. So could be a very good year. And also a third point I wanted to make, I think, regardless of, where it is now, over the time, I do think cryptocurrencies will decouple from Bitcoin, meaning their price will be less tied to Bitcoin. But for the next year, I don't think it's going to happen yet. And I think if Bitcoin looks hot in 2021, I think that could also raise XRP, because usually the current investing streamline, if you will, is people will start with Bitcoin and then move into the altcoins, and that's always how it's been. So when you look at the price of cryptocurrencies, you'll notice there'll be a big splash in Bitcoin. It'll be going up for a few weeks, and then money flows into the altcoins. If that occurs, I think XRP will be primed to be one of the top performing altcoins, possibly the top performing altcoins. So we have a lot to look forward to. Do you think XRP will get to $1 soon? It's possible. We have another couple weeks left in 2020. Usually December historically has been a good year for crypto. I think if XRP can break this downward trend within the next week, it definitely can, get up to $1. I think 2021, I would say 90% certainty it will get over $1, if not much more. But that's not financial advice. It's just my opinion. So, there's a lot to look forward to, guys. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Hopefully the Nightbot doesn't ban you. It doesn't ban you. It just times you out. But if anybody does have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the chat. Also, if anyone does want to support the stream, you could do a super chat, or you could do it through Streamlabs, link in the description, or through the Nightbot. You can see the Streamlabs link, and that if you do that way, your message should appear on the stream. whether you do a super chat or if you do it through Streamlabs. Even $1 helps. But that's not required. But yeah, I'll leave the stream for a couple more minutes, see if anyone has any last minute questions, comments, concerns, and then I'll get going. But I'll leave it for another minute and see if any other questions come in. Also, I'm going to see if it still doesn't show I'm streaming on through the YouTube tab. Very weird. How high do you think Ethereum will get by the end of the year? Not getting too much into technicals, just kind of giving an off-the-cuff kind of response. I would guess end of the year Ethereum price to be between 600 and 700. But that's not getting into technicals. It's just kind of just an off-the-cuff response. Maybe in my next stream or maybe in a separate video, I could do a price prediction, getting more into the technical side of things, but just an off-the-cuff type of response. I would say between 600 and 700. But yeah, I am going to get going. Thank you, everybody who came out to the stream, who engaged in the chat, who left comments or questions. I appreciate it all, and thank you everyone who viewed the joined the stream and watched it. Really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate the engagement. If you're watching this on the video on demand version, when it turns to video, make sure you share the stream if you can. Share it on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever you can. Leave a like, and also make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I will catch you all next time. I